Oh, okay, okay. Do you want to just introduce your guest? Before you begin your presentation, if you could, are you satisfied with the mayor's proposal for your budget this year?
Yes, we're able to achieve our goals within the mayor's budget proposal.
All right.
And with me today, I have Ms. Lisa Ricketts, who is our budget analyst. Just to say a few brief comments. I mean, this has been an extremely busy year for HR, and I think it's just an example of being careful what you wish for and work hard for. When I was here a couple of years ago, I mentioned that one of our goals was to be recognized as an industry HR expert and partners with both you, other elected officials, department heads, as well as employees, in helping to make Metro better. And I think you'll see from our accomplishments this year, as well as our goals and strategic issues for fiscal year 14, that we're headed in that direction. Obviously, I understand the task in front of you, so I thought I would just highlight some information that might be important to you as you go through this process. The retirement incentive. We had 2 employees in our benefit services division who participated. That was a cost of about $34,000. And we'll be able to cover those costs and the payouts by savings that we've managed to have through vacancies, as well as replacing some positions with more lower entry-level type positions, if you will, entry-level pay. As for the increments that have been proposed by the Finance Department and approved by the Civil Service Commission, obviously we didn't originally anticipate those costs, but we've done the math. It looks like we're looking at maybe about $6,000 from our department. So again, that's something we'll be able to absorb. We have some salary savings, as you know, from some vacancies. And with the compensation study that's being funded, which we're very appreciative of, if there are some dollars that we need to readjust from our consultant budget, then we'll work with finance to do that. As I mentioned, just very thankful to finance and the administration for funding the compensation study. About $200,000, I believe, is what's being recommended to the council in the budget. Based on experience, we think that that'll be adequate, but obviously we won't know the exact figure until we do the RFP. And part of the objective of that compensation study will be not just to examine salaries, but to actually do a kind of a comprehensive look at the full compensation package of benefits that Metro offers. And I'll be happy to try to answer any questions.
Thank you. It's not Linnell, so.
Oh, I thought
all of a sudden, boy, the voice has changed. We have several folks in the queue, so Councilman Tigard.
Thank you, and appreciate you being here. Is it legal when you're interviewing employees and you have 2 equally qualified employees and one is the picture of perfect health and one might have other issues, that your selection process or the department's selection process would skew toward that employee in better health or more favorable characteristics? I don't even know if that's a legally possible or an appropriate question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
All right. I feel like I'm back in law school. I won't pretend to be Mr. Saul Solomon, the legal director, but obviously I come from the legal department and as well as my knowledge of employment law. You cannot discriminate against someone for disability. What you can do, though, particularly if you have someone who's already hired and, let's say, later develops a disability, is work with that employee to determine whether or not you're able to make a reasonable accommodation for that employee so that he or she can continue employment. But no, when you're looking at applicants, you're supposed to be looking at the qualifications and the abilities or the ability to perform the job.
Could this government have a policy or a legal directive that we would only hire non-smokers?
Wow, again, I'm not going to even go down the road of being the legal director. I think that could be a great question to pitch to the legal department.
I'll do that, because obviously with rising health costs and whatnot, I'm looking for ways to incentivize our employees to live healthier lifestyles.
Absolutely.
And I need the little incentive myself to choose healthier choices, and to me the best way to do that is through financial incentives or other benefits. So I'd be curious as to your thoughts, and you don't have to give them to me now, but your thoughts on a way we can move toward a healthier government and employee base.
Absolutely. And that's, one of the things we've been looking at this year, and it's definitely just a personal passion of mine as well as a professional passion. I know that we worked, it's been several months ago, I don't know if Mr. Riebling remembers, but there was actually a grant application that the mayor's office was working on, and one of the things, it was supposed to be innovative and about wellness and how we could encourage employee participation. And one of the things we did look at is how could we, both legally and in a way that's fiscally sound, provide incentives to employees, not by punishing them, but encouraging them to participate in various programs, and what could we do. Unfortunately, we were not a recipient of the grant, but we have continued the conversations about what can we do as Metro government to make our employees healthier.
Do we have trouble filling Metro government vacancies with in-county residents?
Whew. I can't say we have trouble. I mean, I don't have any data in front of me. I mean, we get applicants from all over, quite honestly, and depending on the job, particularly the last few years when the job market, as you all know, was pretty tough, it could be one posting, we'd get 200 applicants from all over. So I really haven't differentiated between in-county or out of county.
So a similar line of question as my previous one, is it possible to weigh selection process toward in-county residents who have a vested interest in the success of this city versus someone who lives outside of the county lines?
I love that question. I can tell you again, I think it's something that the council has certainly investigated and looked into. I know it's continued to be, a strong point of discussion. Again, not taking the role of the legal department, I would always say, just as you're having discussions, to ask yourself how far something like that could go. I mean, you could get people with genuine concerns about, well, what next? Will you make me live in a particular district? Will you make me live in a particular neighborhood? I mean, there's the slippery slope argument that people make, and I think at the end of the day, what we want to make sure is that we get great quality applicants wherever they may be from, and I leave it in your hands to sort of decide how you approach that.
Thank you, Councilman. Council Lady Langster.
Thank you, Councilmember Berry. Ms. Roberts, could you tell me just a rough estimate how many people took the buyout? I know you, if you know an exact number, but give me a rough estimate.
I actually do. My office worked very hard, staff worked very hard in meeting with all of these employees and keeping them informed about their deadlines. And at the end of the day, we came out with 493 employees who took it.
Is that a good turnaround? Is that a good number?
It was. I think when we originally started talking about it, again, working with finance department, other departments, we thought a successful number may be around 300, and again, that's just based on the last time the city did an incentive type program. So actually, 493 exceeded what we expected.
Well, I'm glad the city was satisfied. And let me ask you, one of the rules of this early buyout, they cannot come back and work for Metro government even as a part-time employee.
Correct, for 1 year. After 1 year, they can come back part-time, but if and that's 19.5 hours, 19 and a half hours, without affecting their pension amount or what they received as a part of the buyout. If an employee, for whatever reason, wanted to come back full-time, the language in the agreement that all of these employees signed does indicate that they would have to return the amount, the bonus, if you will, of the incentive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Council Lady. Seeing no other questions in the queue, we'd just like to thank you, Ms. Roberts-Turner, for being here, and also Ms. Ricketts, thank you.
Thank you.